Welcome back. Now it's time for the discussion segment or interview segment, as we all know it to be. And we know that today is Wednesday, of course, and it's the social Wednesday. We'll talk about social issues, things that are happening, that is basically happening in the environment or in our region this period. So today we'll be talking about a record-breaking, a major trend in Nigeria today. We've seen that many people have come out to, break records, starting from Hilda Bassey, who broke the 100-hour, cooking record, and then moving on to Chef Dami, and now somebody from Ondo as well. We've started seeing so many people come up basically to do different things. I don't know if it is coming from a point of inspiration or a point where they just want to be on the face of on the internet and just basically be everywhere. So we'll be talking about this and more with Mr. Ayowale Kumolu. He's a brand strategist and he's here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Okay, yes. So like I said earlier, we'll be talking about record breaking. The trend has been going on in Nigeria today. I could sit now and then say, okay, I want to break the record for the longest talking hours. Maybe I'll call it talkathon and then put out the graphics and everybody's just everywhere. Yeah. I recently saw one, I think earlier this week, where somebody said cry-a-thon. He wants to cry for the next 3 days, and I'm wondering how that will be possible. So first of all, what are your thoughts on on this? Is this a good thing? That Hilda Bassey really started this trend or this thing. She came from a point where she wanted to break a record. She had a dream, and then she basically went to fulfill her dream. But then we started seeing other people come up. So what would you think about this? Is this good, or it's just for clout purposes?
I like to say that clearly records are meant to be broken. So it is not a bad thing for people to want to break records, because that's exactly why it is called record breaking. It is there to be broken. But we need to actually look at it from this perspective. What is the motive behind everybody wanting to break record? There are two things that I believe drive human actions. One of it is inspiration, and the other is envy. Now I'm going to break it down. Inspiration is you wanting to do something because somebody has done something to inspire your own thought, to do something creative. Please, quote and unquote, creative. And when you say something is creative, it means someone is generating a new idea from an existing idea. So it is not a bad idea for somebody to want to create something new, having been sparked up by somebody else's idea. It's a good thing. But the second part, which is envy, is you wanting to do something because you feel this person has an advantage and I should have a greater advantage. So you are trying to displace this person or deprive this person of the advantage he has for doing what he has done. So you want to do that thing because you saw the advantage and you want to take that advantage. And I believe that if the motive is right, then it is not a bad thing to do. But if the motive is envy, then it is wrong to do. And that is where I feel the new trend is getting scary. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So now we see that, like you said, there's a point of envy and there's also a point of inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming from the point of inspiration, we see that many Nigerians now have, they basically just started, trying to break records, come up with different ideas and all, and then we see that the Guinness World Records website is literally crashing under the influence of Nigerians. So what would you say about this? Do you think it's portrayed the country in a good way or in a bad way? Because many people who have come up with stuff to to break or different things to just to hit milestones, many of them do not even go through the normal process. They just come up with something and say, okay, I want to break a record, and then we see so many. In fact, it's now a trend on the internet that somebody just comes and says, okay, I'm trying to break this record just because people would see them and for publicity purpose. So do you think it's portraying Nigeria in a good way from the point of other countries who are also looking at Nigeria?
Well, believe it or not, Nigeria is a giant of Africa. And which
giant
means
of Africa.
either you believe it or not, Nigeria is a giant of Africa.
Okay.
We would not say because of the current situation we are in right now, whatever we're facing as a nation is our problem. We have not, that does not deprive us or, has not removed us from that position where we are. Go and ask in entertainment, in any other phase, military,
Culture,
we still retain our sport in the face of the world. either we like it or not. Nigerians everywhere, go across the world, you will hear that Nigerians, anywhere they go, we are the brain box of the world. Take it or leave it. But the recent event have actually shown, or is trying to portray Nigeria as a joke to the world. The Bible even says, permit me to use this reference, that the Bible says, let everything be done properly and in order. That is where the problem comes from. So to the world now, when we started with Idabasi, records have been broken before. Let's agree on that.
Of course.
People have broken records in the music field, in sports. Records have been, in fact, recently before Idabasi, we heard of Tobi Amusan, who broke the world record in athletics. So records have been broken. There has not been any issue to it. But because this is more or less like Idabasi's one was a properly arranged kind of effort. She has been planning hours for about 5 years for 100-hour activity. You understand? So it's something that she has pre-planned. She has made effort. She has consulted and done a lot of things. And then every other person coming afterwards are just trying to do it because they want recognition. That is not painting us well in the face of the world. Other countries will just see us as joke. And recently you will see that even GWR, Guinness World Record, released a statement saying that whoever wants to come and break record, please, we beg you in God's name, come and pass through the right channel, because that is what it should be. But because everybody just wants recognition, we want to be, recently I heard from, I won't mention name, I heard from one of them saying the money has been given is not even enough to hire a military personnel to secure. Please, for what? For God's sake, even Idabashi that broke the record and had that recognition was not even looking for a military personnel to secure. So you see, the motive is different, and that is not painting us well in the face of the world. I don't think it is.
Yeah, of course, I think I agree with you on that. It's not really painting us well in the face of the world. Okay, so moving on, I think that I want to digress a bit from the breaking records of a thing. Then now moving on to people taking up trends for publicity purposes. There's this habit of Nigerians, seeing somebody, okay, this person is doing something of which they know that it is not the right thing to do, but then everybody just literally moves to that person. If the person has maybe a social media handle, they literally follow, this person, and it's in a way it's applauding the person. It's enabling the person to do that, and that's why many other people are doing, all of those things. So, do you think this is a right move? Because for people, their opinions vary. Do you think it's a right thing if somebody is doing something maybe not very nice, maybe something bad, but then because of I don't know, for whatever reasons, you see many Nigerians follow the person, talk about the person, gives the person publicity, and there's a popular phrase that says that bad publicity is still publicity. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with you. Bad publicity is always publicity. However, I believe that we are Nigerians, and one of the things that characterize Nigerians is our competitive spirit. We are competitive in nature. And sometimes our competition becomes unhealthy and we don't care. Now, let's take, for instance, if you have a bad government, you will still see some funny supporters supporting this bad government. They would have their defense always at any point in time. Sometimes when you have conversations with these people, you feel like, should I throw something at this person? Because they would always have a point to defend whatever bad behavior this person is putting up. So it is just our nature in Nigeria that, well, I don't know, I don't want to limit it to Nigeria. I think it is human nature that however bad you are, you always have your supporters. You always have your supporters.
Even in the face of, this person is doing something very bad.
That it is obvious to the world that this person is doing something wrong, you will still always have your supporters. And, I've heard people say things like, you are entitled to your own activity, you are entitled to break your own record and all of those things. And that automatically the word is a competitive word, right? But it's becoming unhealthy when you feel because somebody is making profit in a business, and then you feel that by his side, It's, you know, it is common to Nigerians. You see people who is selling something here, and then the neighbor sees it and says, ah, so you're making profit here. So he goes there and says, okay, I want to start selling mine too. In the same environment. That is very unhealthy. Yet, a competition is a competition. So we have to, it's always a competition.
Okay, now in the light of, you know, the competition, with Chef Hilda, Chef Dami, then there was another chef.
First, let me ask you, is Dami actually a chef?
we
Maybe
don't
she just loves cooking, because that's the way I see it.
She loves cooking, but then she claimed that she's a chef. And then, you know, let's respect our wishes and, you know, just call her a chef. Okay. So Chef Dami, and then there's another chef who came from Ondo. Yes, from Ondo State. Now looking at this, you know, set of people, and even others, there was one who said she wants to massage for about 72 hours. Another is crying for 3 days. Then another, you know, so many of them. Who would you say actually set the record straight? Like, you know, went through the due process, followed every rule and regulation, and then really deserves whatever accolades is given to her?
Well, I might not want to say this person actually did it the right way, because there are standards to these things and there are procedures to it. But as much as I know of Hilda Baci because of the fact that there has been preparations over time, and we were not oblivious of these preparations. We've had all of the steps being taken, we were informed. And when she completed the process, when it was time for the event to take place, we were, you know, kept in the know of all of these things. So it felt to me like she had, you know, crossed her T's and dotted her I's. So she has done the right things to, you know, for this activity to take place. However, I don't know of that of the chef in Ondo. All I heard was, we are breaking so record of so number of hours.
150 hours.
What's the step taken? What are the procedures? Have you done this? Have you done that? We've not heard of any. And as of now, it has not been confirmed. Permit me. It has not been confirmed by Guinness World Record that she has filed any documentation with them. So we are still waiting. Should anything just come up later? But as of now, the only person I've seen that has taken the procedure that we know of, at least that is in the public knowledge, is that of Hilda Baci. And right now we can see that she has had her plaque already, and she's enjoying her time. And I hope that she enjoys it for a while before somebody else from Nigeria
comes up with something else. Okay, yeah. Do you think that record breaking is for everyone? Do you think it's something that everybody should aspire to do? Is it something that, you know, I wake up this morning and say, okay, I want to break this record, I want to break that record. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it is not a bad thing to do if I want to break records. So tomorrow now, I can say I want to break record of having a marketing activity for 15 days without rest, without drinking water. I can just decide to break any record, of course. But I should ensure that it is not from the place of envy. I should ensure that it is within the space of what I can do. I'm going to cite an example. You need to also first think of your capacity to do some things. Everything in life requires preparedness. Everyone can break record. There's no limit to what human being can achieve. So, but the problem is, if you want to break record, ensure that this record you are trying to break is within your capacity, or is what you have prepared and rehearsed for. Not because somebody is achieving something there and then you want to put your head in it. If you dabble into things you are not equipped for, the way you running is the way you will run out if you don't lose your life to it, right? So it is important that everybody can break record, but it is important that we have a solid motive, a right motive to it when we intend to do that.
Thank you so much, sir. So moving on, you think that it's right to actually jump on trends? You know, many people jump on trends and just in the way, oh, I can boost my business, I can boost my business visibility. Many people can see it, many people can follow me, many people can do this and that. So, do you think it's right to break, to follow trends rather? Is it something that should be done?
I am a brand strategist, and I will advise anybody any day to jump on trends. We jump on trends. In fact, I don't think there's any brand, either personal brand or corporate brand, that has ever thrived without lashing on trends. It is what business feeds on. It is what, especially in the days where online business is the order of the day, when digital marketing is the order of the day. So why would you not jump on trends? So why do you think some of these brands assisted or had a collaboration with Idabasi when she wanted to do it? That's because it is important for them to, you know, join in that process, because it has an advantage to their business. So everybody should jump on trends. It's a proper thing to do. However, I will still emphasize the fact that your motive is quite important. Yeah, but for brand owners or business owners, motive can be to make more money. Of course. And it's a valid reason to jump on trends, because we've seen many people, say for example, for someone who is, you know, probably selling hairs or wigs and all that, I literally saw the person trying to braid hair. So, okay, I'm trying to braid hair for maybe 200 hours, this and that. Then we start seeing people massage the back, the shoulders and all of that in the name of breaking trends. But then, you know, and the thing is, you know, in the captions, in whatever it is they're trying to write, they always tag the authorities who are in charge of all of these things, which is why, you know, we'll go back to the first question I asked earlier, that do you think it's putting Nigeria in a good way? Because if you have to follow trends, because businesses follow trends to make more money. Let me emphasize something. As Nigerians, there's something they call catching cruise. I don't know if you've heard it before. Yeah. We catch cruise a lot. And I like the fact that we, you know, because based on the fact that Nigerians are faced with a lot of challenges, psychological challenges, emotional challenges. So in a way to just, you know, relieve our stress, we tend to catch cruise. And it's cool if we catch cruise, but we shouldn't do it at the detriment of our PR. You know, because this thing is giving us a bad PR in the face of the world. So we don't tag them. If you know you just want to catch cruise, please don't tag them, because that will at least, you know, we will know that you are catching cruise. We would engage, we would, you know, like, we will follow you. But please do not tag the authorities so that they don't see us as a joke. You know, it doesn't make any sense that when GWR released that statement, more or less like everybody was saying, this is purely Nigerians. They did not direct it at anybody. They just said, if you are going to break any record, please pass through the appropriate channel. And everybody was just saying, Nigeria is boldly written on this statement. That's to tell you that everybody across the world knows that Nigeria is becoming a joke to the world. And that's what we should avoid. Thank you so much, sir. So what's your advice to people who are looking to break trends? We saw that Idabasi literally is the one who pushed many people, has inspired so many people to, you know, to do something beyond their comfort zone. So what's your advice to people who want to do this? You know, Chef Dami has said that she's coming back bigger and better, and then she's probably going to shoot for 200 hours or even more. So what's your advice to people like Chef Dami and even other people who are aspiring to do something? Okay, first off, I would like to, you know, say this, that if you are going to, it's a good thing to break record. You are breaking record is fine, but ensure that your motive is right. That's the first thing. Why are you breaking this record? Ensure that your motive is not from the place of envy, rather from the place of inspiration. Also ensure that if you are breaking record, make sure that it is a record being broken within either your field or your passion. Because if you break record in somebody else's passion or somebody else's field, you realize that you will not be able to reach the milestone that you're targeting. It's a good thing to break record, but ensure that your motive is right. And ultimately, you can achieve anything. Go ahead and break the record you want to break. Just ensure your motive is right. Ensure your motive is right. Thank you so much. In breaking record as well, there's the part of the financial aspect that many people do not talk about. The money that goes into preparing many things, the money, the people, the network you need to have, you know, to push your dream out. You know, let's talk about that. You know, many times people want to do things. They want to break records, they want to set goals, they want to hit milestones, but then the financial aspect is not helping. So do you think that there should be a place where the government can come and say, okay, there's a bank where if you need to break your record, you bring your proposal forward, you try to pitch your idea, and then they give you some money to do that? Should the government be involved, or should there be organizations that should do that? This question you're asking is sounding like record breaking is now becoming a business.
Sort of, because many people now see it as a means to make more money.
Yeah, of course, yes. That's another thing I said. It's everything I said here, everything we've been discussing so far is still about motive. Is your desire to make money from record breaking? If it is, it's good. But if it is just for you to, break record, I feel that there are records you can break without even spending
a dime.
For instance, if you want to do what's it called now? Weightlifting. So you can stay in your house, or let's say you visit a gym. All you need to do is visit a gym, announce the word that you want to break social record, go to the gym, let people film you, and then you see that so far you have registered with the appropriate authorities and taking the right steps. The whole world do not have to be, all of us do not have to be there. We do not have to be all present. In fact, if you really want to break record, you can break the record without social media knowing. That's another thing.
But then, like you said earlier, other people have broken records that we do not even know about because they were not just on the internet, they were not just on social media. It was the, from Ilabasi who brought everything to limelight, and then everybody said, literally just going on social media and all, because I think that many people now, everything is on social media. You want to make more money, be on the internet. You want to get somewhere, be on the internet.
Let me remind you that Tobi Amuso broke the world record without inviting anybody, without announcing prior to the time. Even she did not know that she would break the record. There are some records you will break by nature, by what you do, just by doing what you're doing. But if you know you want the publicity, then you should be ready to spend the money. Don't bother our government. I don't believe you should bother the government on what you want to do for yourself. Except you see that this thing has, all of it has a value. It adds value to the nation. Yeah, at least it gives us a level of pedigree, a level of a boasting right as a country. Oh, that's a Nigerian. She broke this, she broke that. So we could say we have like 10,000 record breakers in Nigeria. That's a milestone as a nation.
As a nation.
However, if your motive is right, you should. There are brands out there, there are businesses out there who can support you, can sponsor your activities, who can sponsor whatever you're trying to do, and help you achieve your goal if your motive is right.
Okay, so I would put this question to you, that you as a brand strategist, if somebody comes up to say, I want to break a record, I want to set this record and all of that, is it something you would, put your hands in? Would you hold the person and then go out to brands to ask for sponsors and all of those things?
Well, first, it depends on your level of preparedness. Beyond the brand sponsorship, how well have you personally prepared? And then we also look at the whole thing I've been mentioning, your motive.
Your motive.
Is it just for you to, sometimes even brands can sponsor people who wants to gain visibility, social media visibility. Some people, it is not the record that they want to break. It is the visibility they want. But if you pass through the appropriate channel and we looked into it, what is the benefit for us as a company, as a brand? So the brands will also look into what's in it for them. And then when they realize that, okay, your level of preparedness can match the level of publicity you want to put together, then it will benefit them. Because I will not put money on what will not, give me a return. So that is the only condition I can say, okay, let me put my money into this. So I would only, as a brand strategist, I would only advise anybody who wants to approach any brand for sponsorship, if you are breaking a record, that first, let there be a very strong level of preparedness. Show them that you are really ready for it. Then ensure that you have gone through the right procedures, taking the right steps, registered with the appropriate authorities, and then they can begin to look into how it benefits you and how it benefits their brand. Then you can also always have the sponsorship eventually.
Thank you so much. I wish we could go on and on, but we're actually running out of time. Thank you very much. I'm sure you've heard your motive matters when you want to break a record. You can't actually break a record. Everybody can break a record, but what matters is your motive. So with the right motive, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. Thank you so much. We'll be back to continue with Daybreak Africa shortly. Do stay with us.